Do you know that sinking feeling when you press the on button on your phone and then nothing?
It is terrifying. And I'll tell you who knows all about that. It's a person in our next story whose laptop died during a very busy time at work.
Luckily, though, it was less than a year old, and so she thought, easy fix, until the quote arrived. Caitlin has the story.
If there's one person who knows what's behind the curtain before everyone else, it's Sandra Roberts. The entertainment publicist takes what she sees and hears, and then gets busy behind her laptop to share it with the world.
Some people would say it's attached to me, but I do love my laptop.
But after working at a razzmatazz opening for Kinky Boots back in May,
With lots of glitz and glamour and sequins.
her MacBook Air made it a night to remember for the wrong reasons.
Went to turn it on and just nothing, dead. I thought, gosh, it's needs a little lie down after all that excitement, I suppose.
Sandra took it into Noel Leeming in Silverdale, where she'd bought it new less than 12 months ago.
I just didn't think that anything major would be wrong with it because it had been working perfectly fine and we'd been uploading all sorts of photos and videos and stuff the day before.
Noel Leeming sent it off to its Apple-authorised service provider, Service Plus, for repairs. A few days later, Sandra was faced with her own showstopper.
$1822.75? What?
The repair bill was over $100 more than her Mac was worth in the first place.
They quoted me things that I thought, gosh, it sounds like it was a catastrophic meltdown, but I couldn't think about how that could possibly have happened because one day it was working perfectly fine and then the next day it wasn't.
These are the things Service Plus said needed replacing. The audio board flex cable that connects the audio board to the mother or logic board, the top case with keyboard, a Touch ID button, and the display screen. All considered faulty and put down to a liquid spill caused by the customer. For the record, you didn't spill anything on it?
Absolutely not, no.
Didn't drop it?
No, nothing, no.
Any other whoopsies?
No accidents, no nothing, and then it just stopped working.
But because Sandra was being blamed for that, Noel Leeming wouldn't cover the costs under Apple's 12-month warranty. So she queried the quote with Service Plus.
Do I need to be spending all this money to turn the computer on? I just want it to be going again. And he said, yes, you need to have all those things fixed for it to be working again.
Sandra asked for her laptop back and took it to an independent repairer to at least try and get a copy of her data. But they did more than that, soon figuring out why the Mac wasn't turning on. The repairers chosen not to go on camera.
Being a smaller business myself, I don't feel it would be very smart.
But in their view, Liquid wasn't to blame. Instead, the local repairer found there was a problem with two faulty capacitors, these little units, which smooth the electrical flow to the main circuit board.
How these MacBooks work is they switch from 5 volts to 20 volts when they're working correctly. Sandra's one was only going to 5 volts, which indicated to me there was an issue with the motherboard.
By soldering on two new capacitors, Sandra's MacBook returned to a normal voltage and started back up again.
I didn't find any evidence of a liquid spill.
Apple has rules around how its products can be fixed. For example, a faulty motherboard would end up being replaced rather than repaired.
The right to repair really needs to lift up in New Zealand and show there are opportunities for third-party repairers to help.
As for Sandra's laptop, Service Plus took this photo at the time as evidence of liquid damaged parts. It says the residue appears to be dry, as if it had been there for some time. But this repairer argues moisture could be to blame.
The actual pins on the flex cable aren't damaged. That, at worst, would cause an intermittent issue with the audio, but the MacBook wasn't switching on, and that was completely unrelated to that.
Service Plus acknowledged it could have been more specific with its choice of wording.
It possibly would have been clearer to state that the parts were affected by liquid and that there is potential for future failure if the parts are not replaced. Also, I think liquid incursion could be preferable terminology to liquid spill. We do not know how the liquid entered the machine.
But the company believes its technician found more than just condensation.
Unfortunately, liquid incursion is a serious situation on electronic devices. They can appear to function okay initially, but can or will develop issues over time. Service Plus seeks to complete repairs to a fully functional and reliable state to ensure that the customer continues to have their full entitlements post-repair. Leaving liquid residue in a device after repair is not good practice.
It's standing by its assessment that the liquid damage it found could have caused the device to not power on.
Having said that, the information provided by Fairgo appears to indicate that the main PCB may have also had an issue that we did not report.
But Sandra says she just wanted someone to get her computer going again.
It was less than a third of the cost of what Service Plus was actually quoting, and it's working perfectly fine.
Noel Leeming says it takes customer concerns seriously and is happy to discuss options around quoted repairs. It's sticking by Service Plus's findings, but as a gesture of goodwill, has offered to give Sandra a brand new MacBook Air.
Oh, that is wonderful. I'm thrilled that they're giving me another one. That's awesome. But, the further conversation is what steps are they going to put in place that it doesn't happen again?
Because her MacBook's still singing.
Oh, it's wonderful. So it doesn't seem to be missing a beat.
So she's now got 2 computers, one for Fairgo Live, one for Fairgo and reruns, but also people at home, second opinions, get them all the time, on everything. Now, before the break, we met Sandra, and when her laptop stopped working, it was sent away to Noel Leeming's recommended repairer, who quoted $1,300 more than her local repair shop.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah, so what rights does she have? Caitlin went to find out.
Sandra's MacBook's still going strong, despite being told it wouldn't turn on again without spending $1,800 on repairs.
How often does that happen to people that, they get these quotes, but actually they don't understand what they're paying for? Just baffles me.
If that sounds like you, Paul from Consumer NZ's here to help. Hey, Paul.
So you can take it to anybody you want to get that assessed and to get a second opinion. It's never a case that you have to give up the product and just take their word for it.
It's not a question of whether the manufacturer warranty still applies. You always have rights under the Consumer Guarantees Act.
The CGA says that a product must be fit for purpose, which partly means that it's got to be durable and not faulty for a reasonable period.
If it's a minor fault, then the retailer can choose what they do with it. But if it's a major, it's up to the consumer how it gets fixed.
So you can say, I need it repaired, I want a replacement or a refund.
It's best practice to give the retailer a chance to put things right. If you don't, they can claim they would have fixed it if only you'd given them a chance. In Sandra's case, Noel Leeming wouldn't cover the cost of the repair job because the work had already been carried out by a third party. Paul says even then, there's a case for being able to claim costs back.
And say, look, I know under consumer law, this needs to be put right. And I've got evidence that it is a product fault, and you as the retailer really need to fix this for me.
What costs you in time and effort might save you hundreds of dollars.